to progress further in this area. So in 2 years' time, Flora would be very happy to share more with you, but she is going to tell you about the educational work of Alpha and the stages of building and planning in a museum. Alpha.
Thank you, Joseph, for your kind words. Well, I start with motion 66. I still remember when Sue Wang was proposing the motion. At that time, there's one very important component to the motion, that is education. And there's nothing more important than continue educating our younger generations. Commemoration is important, but it's more so if our younger generation can learn from what happened in the past, and then they become social contributors in the end. So where we are here will be our future museum. There will be significant changes, of course, to this building. Right now, we are working with the architect and designer, and as well as a team of researchers, working on how to present the World War II history in Asia into a story where our young people will love to listen and to learn and inspired. So lots of work has to be done, and also as well as fundraising. Hopefully, the museum will be finished by the end of 2020 with an entirely new look. So when you walk in the same space again, you probably won't recognize where you are here. The second thing I want to share is about the film that we're going to show on December the 9th. I don't know how many of you here have watched the film Iris Chang, The Rape of Nanking. Any of you watched the film? Okay, thank you. Well, this is a film made in 2007, sponsored by Alpha Education. And it was docudrama who won numerous awards around the world. And most importantly, actually, this is the spirit of the film that had inspired many, many people when the film was premiered in 2007. Even though it was premiered 11 years ago, even like today, when we watch the film again, we will feel the same sentiments. I remember the film was able to move the then trustee, Sean Chang, now the MP. After watching the film, he tabled a motion at the Toronto District School Boards and requested the school board to teach about Nanjing Massacre and the Comfort Woman in all schools of TDSB. And that was the beginning of Alpha's relationship with the school board and later on other school boards around Ontario. And the film was also able to inspire many young people. And one of them, actually she was only 13 at that time when she watched the film. 2 years later, she came back to Alpha and she asked for volunteering at Alpha. And now she is a medical student, but still she has strong passion about the work of preserving the history as well as how to contribute as a young person for the peace movement in the future. So the film, I encourage everyone to attend the film screening again. And after that, we will be there also sharing all the insider stories about making the film. I was with the crew going to China, interviewing many, many survivors in Nanjing. And of course, how the film was made, and lots of stories can be shared by Dr. Wong and myself at that time. I would like to share, last of all, not the least, about the education work of Alpha. The museum is another milestone, but in the past 2 decades, Alpha was able to promote the awareness and education of the World War II in Asia, not just in Ontario, not just in Canada, but in countries outside of Canada. We shared our education work, or we promote our education work in 4 different directions. In working with school boards, education, in empowering young people, in working with communities like what we are going to do, working in commemorating the Nanjing Massacre, and last but not the least, working with researchers. Alpha is also a research hub for researchers in different parts of the world. So hopefully our education work will continue to inspire young people, continue to bring more awareness so around the world people learn the history and learn from the mistakes of this history. So in the next 2 years, we will continue to update every one of you, continue to update the community what education works that we are going to, the initiatives of our education work, because apart from the museum, we will continue to work with many educators and providing as many resources as we can to the educators as well. So, Joseph, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The floor is open.